Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Vince, and today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about executive derailment. Given the situation we're in with the global pandemic and the fact that many executives are under intense pressure, I thought this would be a subject that would be of some interest at the moment. So, executive derailment is essentially when an executive is doing well and suddenly either they get fired, they quit their jobs, or they get reassigned to a position of less responsibility. Typically, in my experience, executive derailment happens when executives are under intense pressure. And when executives are under intense pressure, what tends to happen is their strengths become weaknesses. So whatever they were very, very good at, whatever has led them to where they are in their career, they overplay that, and that creates significant problems for them and the businesses that they lead. The problem is that before executive actually derail, before they get fired or they decide to leave, they can create significant havoc for the business. So it's important to understand what executive derailment is, and more importantly, how to prevent it. Now, there are many derailers, and I'll provide you with more information on that at the end of this video. But let me just give you a few examples. The classic example is leaders who are very determined, who are used to get things their own way, usually achieve great results in normal times. Under intense pressure, they become bolder, more aggressive, they stop listening, and they can become, actually, the name of the derailer is arrogance. So they become arrogant. They stop listening to the people around them and take decisions that can be very detrimental to the business. Another example is leaders who are, in normal circumstances, prudent, wise, risk-averse, analytical. Under intense pressure, what tends to happen is analysis paralysis. So I need more data, I need more information to take my decision. The result is that I delay the decision making, I don't make decisions, I don't take actions. Obviously, when you're in a crisis, some parts of the business may need to take quick action. Some people want to move fast because either they need to fix something or there's an opportunity, and they're relying on a leader who unfortunately is essentially not making decisions or taking very few decisions. So the question is, how do you then prevent derailment? So the first thing off the bat is leaders who are very self-aware tend to derail less. In other words, if I understand what are my strengths and my weaknesses, I will understand that under intense pressure, I may overplay my strength. Those leaders will tend to be careful about listening to their peers, be careful about listening to their boss, be careful about listening to their teams. So when their teams suggest that they take a different course of action, they will at least consider that and work with them to make sure that as a team, they're taking the right course of action. They are leaders who tend to reflect. So they will spend some time either in the evening or in the morning to think about the day, to think about what went well, to think about what didn't go so well, and how they contributed to that. They tend to also spend a little bit of time on their own reflecting, taking a step back to make sure that they're approaching things the right way. So first off is that self-awareness, and obviously self-awareness is something that you develop throughout your career. The second thing is leaders that are good at preventing their own derailment pay attention to the environment. And what I mean by that is they will make sure that they have experts, people in the field, people in respective areas that can advise them as to what is happening. So in the current circumstances, for example, they may have medical experts, or they'll have statisticians, and they will work with their teams to prepare what is called scenario planning. So they'll have a rapid recovery scenario, they'll have a scenario where things take a little bit longer, or they'll have a disaster scenario where the business doesn't recover for a long time, and they work with the experts, with their teams, on those scenarios to make sure they are prepared and making the right decision, pardon me, as things unfold. They are also leaders who pay attention to basic things. How they eat. Are they eating properly? Are they having three meals a day and the right amount of nutrition, or the right way to eat, if I may say? They will make sure that they are exercising on a regular basis. They will monitor their sleep to make sure that when they come to work every day, they have appropriate amounts of sleep and they can handle the pressures of the day. And finally, and perhaps more importantly, these are leaders that will have a fair dose of humility. They understand their worth. They understand that they're the leaders for a reason, but they also understand that they need to listen to people, and that as the crisis unfolds and as the pressure starts building on them, that they can learn from experts, from people around them, about how to deal with the situation. So they won't hesitate, for example, to ask for help. They won't hesitate to go look for advice in the right places, and they will spend time with their teams, with their peers, with their boss, with outside experts to make sure that they are handling the situation in the best way possible. It doesn't mean that they will have it 100%, but that means that at least they won't start exhibiting tendencies, behaviors that detract from their ability to lead a team. So in summary, executive derailment happens when executives are under intense pressure. Under intense pressure, our strengths become weaknesses. In order for us to prevent derailment, there's 4 essentially key things we have to have. One is we have to know ourselves. We have to have self-awareness. 2 is we have to pay attention to our environment. And you can include the business environment, the economic environment, in this case, the medical environment, your team, your peers, your boss. 3, I take care of myself. So I pay attention to what I eat, I pay attention to exercise, to meditate, and finally, I have the humility to know that I don't have all the answers and that I'm going to have to rely on others to get out of the crisis. If you have those 4 things, your chances of derailing are very, very low, and your chances of coming out of the crisis successfully are much, much higher. There's more information here that I'm going to provide with this video. For those of you who have worked with before that are in the middle of this crisis, if you need somebody to talk to, if you want to exchange email or talk to me, please reach out. For those of you who don't know me, these are difficult circumstances for everyone. If you want to have a chat, don't hesitate to reach out to me. There's no fees, obviously. My job is to help people, and I'm sure that in the end it'll all work out. Thank you very much for listening, and hopefully we'll be posting more of these videos. Thank you.